Hello everyone and welcome to this new Kitchen Talk video. So today we're going to focus on clean tech with Danijel Visevic. Danijel is the founding partner at the World Fund, a European VC investing in entrepreneurs building climate tech for a regenerative world. Let's welcome him. Hello Danijel, welcome to our Kitchen Talk. How are you today and where are you joining us from?
I'm wonderful. I'm joining you from Berlin on a terrace. It's a sunny day.
Fantastic, you're lucky. All right, so let's jump in straight away. I know that the World Fund was launched in February, actually last year, and invests in companies that can save at least 100 megatons of CO2 emissions per year. That's brilliant. So how did you come up with the idea of the World Fund?
It's mainly two sources of idea, I would say. The one, of course, is the impressive movement Fridays for Future. So in 2018, we all became even more aware about the climate crisis we are in. And it's the biggest danger humankind was ever threatened with. So we have to solve this problem. And the second source is that we learned that in Europe, especially, we have wonderful founders. We have strong climate tech. We are leading worldwide when we look at the numbers of patent applications, when we look at the numbers of climate tech startups founded, and when we look also at the capital invested into climate tech R&D. Problem is, too little capital for climate tech startups who are able to save a significant amount of CO2. And as you said, we only invest into startups that can save at least 100 megatons of CO2 or equivalent emissions per year. That's because we need a drastic change. We need to reduce the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere as soon as possible to avoid the catastrophic consequences of the climate crisis. And this is at the same time, as macabre as it sounds, the biggest investment opportunity for climate tech, for venture capitalists. And so we are only investing in technologies that have this disruptive potential.
Now, let's focus on Europe. How competitive is the European clean tech industry?
Competitive compared to, for example, North America or China, very competitive. Maybe I can give you a number. One part of climate tech, of course, is the energy sector. Between 2019 and 2021, within those 3 years, in the US, 243 startups were founded, energy startups in the climate tech space, and in Europe, 363. And if we even take a closer look on battery startups, for example, in the US and China combined, 80 startups were founded last year, and in Europe, 103. So we are competitive.
That's great to hear. But how do you select them? I mean, the entrepreneurs and the startups that you are investing in?
Basically, it's not different to what a traditional VC does. We look at team, we look at TAM, so the totally addressable market. We look at basically the potential of growth. And of course, we want to make our LPs happy with a fantastic exit, earn a lot of money. What we attach to this is the CPP, the climate performance potential. What mainly consists of what we talked about previously. Is this technology able to save at least 100 megatons of CO2 emissions or equivalents? This is for us a financial KPI. So we have to decarbonize all our economy and industry. So those startups that will help us here will be among the most valuable companies of the next decade. So we choose only those with the highest CPP.
Right. So you mentioned earlier that the industry, the European clean tech industry, is quite competitive, but still, in terms of investing, Europe is still lagging a little bit behind other markets. Why do you think that is still the case?
Yeah, it's not only a little bit, it's incredibly huge lagging behind. We have recognized 3 reasons for that. So the one is we have too small funds in Europe. So if we compare our investment funds to those in Asia, but also especially in North America, we are just small, especially in the VC landscape where venture capitalists are investing into ClimateTech. We have recognized only in North America 41 venture capitalists who invest into ClimateTech that have at least 100 billion assets under management, $100 billion, 100 million, of course, and only 6 of those we have in Europe. So 41 in North America, 6 in Europe. We have 2 small funds, and the second problem is we don't have patient capital. We in Europe, also in the States, but we even more want to have quick gains, quick profits. But ClimateTech quite often has hardware components. Hardware has higher capex, needs more time to get to the revenue and profit stage. But then it accelerates, but you need more time. And the third problem is our venture capitalists, they're very smart in recognizing business models, but they usually don't understand the tech. So what we have done also, we built a team that is all, they're all investors, experienced investors within our investment team, but they are chemical engineers, physicists, biologists, nuclear physicists. We have a mathematician, a mechanical engineer. So they also understand the tech. That's important.
Right, absolutely, and it's very key. And I think that's a great transition because we want to understand the role of technology in fighting climate change. So why do you think that technology has a huge role and can help fight climate change?
We need to wonder. We have to be quick. Humankind, even being aware of the climate crisis, is not able to change its behavior. Huge problem. We are irrational beings. We understand something, but act different because our decision-making center in the brain is our hypothalamus. We can understand that we are in danger, but we don't do anything before we are hurt. So we will only save humankind if we very fast develop technologies that can let people switch, for example, from eating meat to eating plant-based steaks, if those steaks are at least tasty, healthy, and cheap as meat. Just to give you one example, I'm talking about Juicy Marbles. It's a company from Slovenia we invested in. We will only be able to make this leap, to make this wonder happen, if we do everything we can, but technology plays a crucial role because only technology can really make quick changes happen without having humans to change too much.
So you mentioned the food industry. So which other sectors are you thinking about, sectors where there could be a huge impact?
Yeah, it's mainly 2 sectors. Energy, we talked already about. And we have to say energy, of course, is very complex. So it also consists of course, the energy space itself, but it also consists of industry and manufacturing. It also consists of construction, buildings, transportation, logistics. And then we have food, agriculture, and land use, where we have also a tremendous emission savings potential. Those are mainly the 2 sectors we're looking at. And if we combine them, it's basically 100% of all emissions humankind emits. Yeah, if we do things right and do it together with many other investors, we'll be able to save all emissions and get climate neutral worldwide as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Danijel, maybe for our audience, what example do you have of like one clean tech technology that you're most excited about or you've invested in?
Yeah, first in my mind comes now SpaceForge, but it's difficult to understand why this is clean tech. SpaceForge is a company from Wales, and it manufactures, it produces stuff in space. So the first thing they will do is to produce semiconductors in space. Already this year, the first rocket the first ever rocket even launched from the UK, will be sent to space. They have developed a platform that fully automatically is able to build semiconductors in space. So what you need to build semiconductors, perfect conditions are vacuum, cold, no gravity or low gravity. And before you create those this circumstances on Earth, it's energy consuming. You do it in space. And another thing is also those semiconductors. It's only the first use case they will do. Those semiconductors are more efficient and also again use less energy. So this is a technology that is able to save more than 100 megatons of CO2 emissions, because a very energy hungry part of our industry will be sent to space, will be produced there, no only little emissions on Earth.
Now, is it realistic to imagine, to expect a clean tech company become like a huge giant like Google or Amazon?
Absolutely.
I knew you would say that. So what are you thinking?
It's just it will be 1,000 unicorns in the next decade, or even within the next 10 years. So it's not only myself saying this. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the biggest investor on Earth, said the next 1,000 unicorns will be in ClimateTech, said at the beginning of this year and wrote it in his letter. We have to decarbonize, and the climate crisis is getting more severe from year to year. So all the catastrophic things we are experiencing now and experienced last year, as bad as this sounds, this will increase during the next years until 2050, 2055. So no matter what we do, Earth will be warming. Question is to which degree? So we will realize more and more that we need to decarbonize, and every startup that is able to help us to decarbonize will have a huge market there. And so they will be the next Googles. And we already have Tesla, what is basically also a clean tech company in the billions.
Right. So are you optimistic about it? Do you think we're going to reach our climate targets? Decarbonization is obviously one thing, but there are other also solutions. So can we reach it? What do you think?
Yes, we can. And I also believe that we will, because humankind, as difficult it is for us individually to change, and we rather eat a plant-based steak instead of eating no animals anymore. At the same time, we have proven so many times in crisis, like wars, when we recognize that something needs to happen, we can act fast. And this is also something we see in Europe already. So the Green Deal is huge. On EU level and also on national levels, we see huge shifts and changes. I'm also very happy and also proud that in Germany we have also now the Green Party being part of the government, and namely Robert Habeck, our Minister for Economy, has really shifted everything that was planned toward a green economy. And we in Germany can now see if someone really wants, we can.
Well, that's for sure. And we see that in Europe, this is really gaining momentum and ground. So hopefully I share your optimism, Danijel, but we will be still there to see what happens. Thank you. Thank you. And I think you're going to be there at VivaTech in June. Is it your first time?
Yes, it will be the first time, although I've been in Paris very often and my wife is from Paris.
Thank you, Danijel. Thank you so much for sharing your insights
Asha.
with us today. And don't leave yet, as we still have a few questions for you in the Speakeasy. And for you guys, if you like what you're watching and you don't want to miss the next videos, please subscribe to our channel and see you next time. Cheers.
I have to say it's a watch I'm using, and it made me do sports. I had a strategy, it's called zero inbox. Of course, always emails are unread in my inbox. Honestly, my co-founder Daria Saharova, a female investor, super experienced. I would love to change how we react to the climate crisis. I would love us to become more rational and to understand that something will hurt us before it really does. I'm proud of what you have achieved in life. That's what I was planning. Move on.